Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Unpopular Review, Raw Review, coming off the heels of a Monday Night Raw with crowning a new, this is the highlight part, right? The highlight part, crowning the new World Women's Champion, 7-time now champion, Becky Lynch. I'm the Executive Consultant, joined today, of course, by FreckledSensei. Welcome, everybody. FreckledSensei, newest addition to the UPR family. Taking over here for Monday Night Raw. Unfortunately, Evil Dose was unable to make it, babe. We're going to have a banger show tonight.
Or a burger, like Seamus says.
Or a burger, which is too late for me to have a burger, but I could use a burger after burger after burger after burger. Drew McIntyre, Seamus was right. He does get a lot of good one-liners in, but we got a lot to talk about on this special Monday Night Raw edition. FreckledSensei, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Yes, I could go for a burger, but the way that I'm old and my stomach gets set up, I don't even want to finish that statement because just those two combined, nah, it's not happening. I'll do it in the morning.
Yes, the metabolism slowing down at a certain age is a real thing. Don't let anybody fool you. It is 100% real. But, let's get right into it. 3-hour Raw we have to talk about, and that is the first thing we're going to talk about, of course, is beginning with this new thing they got going on. I mean, we've seen them do stuff like this in the past, but starting Raw off with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole in the ring telling you what's going on instead of getting right to it. What do you think? Do you think this is something they're going to do regular, routinely? Are you enjoying it? What are your quick thoughts when it comes to that?
I like how they're doing the review thing. It gives, and I kept telling people, I'm like, WWE in general is trying to convey to the anime and Marvel nerds, because what do you see in a continuous anime, or even like in continuous like shows like X-Men 97? They do a previously on, and so it's like now WWE is doing this with the Pat McAfee, and I love. By the way, Pat McAfee being in WWE has given so much life to WWE, like his energy, the stuff that he says, and it's giving Michael Cole life. Like I'm so glad that Michael Cole can go out like this versus him being shouted out through his whole doggone ear by Vince. I don't think that they're gonna keep continuing this. I feel like that was just like a one. I don't think it's gonna be a one and done thing, but I think the biggest reason why they did it is because you had so much stuff that happened between last week and this week, and definitely with the whole Rhea situation, with the whole title, they were trying to gas that up. Yeah, you still had the new tag team champions that had to be defended. You still had you still had a couple of women's segments, but the biggest thing was the battle royal, which we're going to later because I still I definitely got some mixed views with that one. That messed me up. They did good. Like it was a good match, but they messed me up.
Well, a lot of people are talking about this online. Not exactly the best reaction, I could say, for your new women's world champion. But like you said, we'll talk about that in a bit. In the meantime, let's discuss the fact that the first segment we're going to talk about is not Jimmy, no Yeet. We're talking about Yeet. Jey still comes out once again, gets the crowd pumping. Pat McAfee on the table doing it. Yes. Jey Uso comes out, talk about how he has his title shot at Backlash Saturday after this one coming. Damien Priest comes out, world championship in hand. He tells a story and then pretty much just blows Jey off before Jey lets him know, like, hey, I'm beating you for the championship. I'm taking this title. I'm going to win it at Backlash. You're not going to be anything because you're not Rhea Ripley. You are not the true leader of Judgment Day, except for the fact you're injured. How do you feel about that? JD tries to attack from behind, misses, gets super kicked. Does Damien Priest by Jey Uso because of that? What are your thoughts when it comes to this segment? Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it just for the fact of I enjoy Jey. Like anytime Jey gets on the mic, anytime Jey wants to cook, he can cook. And that's what Roman was trying to tell everybody, that if you let Jey cook, he's going to cook. If I'm Jimmy, I'd be pissed because my brother gets drunk one time and has a whole one-liner. I get drunk. And we had to make it where Roman gets mad at me and say, don't do it again on TV. But the segment itself was dope. I finally told people, I said, once Damien starts winning and once he wins this title, it's not going to be Judgment Day turns on Damien. It's going to be Damien turning away from Judgment Day. He's going to pull. He's going to pull, which was one of my favorite movies of all time, The Temptations. He's going to pull a David Ruffin. He's going to be like, it's Damien Priest and the Judgment Day. Y'all ain't winning. I'm the only one that's winning. I'm calling the shots. I've been tired of this because the only other person that had weight is gone. So I'm liking I'm liking the layers. I'm liking that. I'm liking how JD always finds a way to screw things up. So it makes Damien even more mad. On top of the fact that Damien never even wanted him. So it's just adding more fuel to the fire. So I'm loving this. I don't know what was going on this week. This week and last week was like Heartbreak Hotel when it came to factions. It was just like, damn, the honeymoon phase is over. See, Matt Hardy should have said the honeymoon phase was over in WWE instead of AEW because everybody's mad.
It is amazing because one thing, and I understand what I'm saying by this. I've given Triple H a lot of credit. You know, I'm a Vince guy. I'm a Vince McMahon fan. But I've given Triple H a lot of credit because I feel like he's made the product a lot more exciting than it was during the last couple of years with Vince. But at the same time, I see what Triple H incorporated a lot of AEW style to WWE. And one of those things that I want to mention is I think it incorporated a lot of factions to the WWE, where WWE usually ran with one, maybe two factions at a time. Yeah. Since Triple H took over, he's created all of these factions, and right now he's destroying a lot of them. Now, is it possible to rebuild them? We want to find out. We'll talk about more of these factions in a minute that are possibly breaking up. We will talk about it, but let's talk about the first match of the night, which was for the newly crowned World Tag Team Championship, as Awesome Truth defends their championships against DIY, Regeneration X, imploding right here tonight in Ohio. And I would say that the match was okay from what I saw. Awesome Truth was definitely mostly because to be real, because of R-Truth. You know, I'll take nothing away from Miz. Miz is my favorite wrestler. I'm never disrespecting Miz. But DIY was not over. Now, I've been a huge, you're new to the program, so I don't know how much you know of this. Me, not a fan of DIY. Never been a fan of it. I don't understand. Well, in NXT, they were okay, but that works for NXT. I always said Johnny Gargano was Johnny 205 Live. He's not a main roster talent. Can't get over with the main roster crowd, right? It's different from being down here in Orlando, dealing with the same people each and every week, and you're dealing with people about your size, a little above, and you're going over to Raw where you have to deal with the Drew McIntyres, the Brock Lesnar's, whatever have you. But because Triple H is Triple H, he throws boys in there at all times because they shouldn't have been at WrestleMania. I'm sorry. They didn't deserve to be at WrestleMania. It should have been the Creed brothers.
I agree.
Keep throwing them so they get the first title shot. They lose, thankfully. They lose. But now you see the dissension as Triple H, Ciampa, did not want to shake the hands of Awesome Truth after. Is this going to be a heel turn for DIY? Is this going to be a heel turn for Ciampa? Where do you see the direction going forward?
It's like Triple H said, hey, you know what really worked at NXT? Let's do this shit again, because that's really about to happen. We about to have the old Ciampa come back, and I'm loving it. I thought DIY was going to incorporate like the old Ciampa and like the newer Gargano, the way Gargano, and build that together. But it was just like a reunited, and it felt all right. It's over. Like the reunited, it felt good. It was okay. And it hurts me to say it because I love DIY and NXT. They were the bomb. Even when they separated, and them feuds. Those was like will be the next champions. I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. Please, they don't. Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, you got muted.
That's stupid. I realize I can see it happening. I think he has a point because I don't see the Awesome Truth holding those championships long. I think that was just a pat of like, hey, y'all were together for a while. Y'all really entertaining. R-Truth is really over. Let's give you the championships because R-Truth never really had championship goal like that. I mean, he did, but not really like that. This was a moment. So if you want to talk about transitional, y'all look good with these championships and those titles. I know they got Shadow on last week. Especially when the WWE Tag Team Championships was unveiled on SmackDown. But those titles look very good. Those are some nice looking championships. Okay.
Gold is not. I think people understand. Gold is. You can never go wrong with gold.
No. Especially with championships. That's what it's supposed to be.
We came from Walmart tag team titles. We had Walmart brand tag team titles. Them blue and red tag team titles look worse than you can find on eBay from a scalper that needs drug money. It was terrible.
You're not wrong.
We finally got prestige. Hey, y'all want to be mad at the prestige?
No, there's some good looking championships. People don't like the fact that WWE is right there in the middle. Hey, it's their brand. They want you to know you're watching WWE. Exactly. So they're going to put the damn thing on.
They're going to put the logo on there.
Hey, you want to see another good looking title? That World Heavyweight Championship. I was looking at the first segment with Damien Priest. It was draped over shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
That's a beautiful looking championship as well. That World Heavyweight Championship. That looks like a world title.
I ain't gonna lie, that what grew on me, and the only reason why I say it grew in it was like an instant because how they revealed it and the angle they revealed, it looked like that it looked like the gold piece was caved in. Mm-hmm. So when you actually finally looked at the whole thing, it was like, oh no, it's actually pumped out. It's actually, I was like, okay, now just looking the way it was presented at first, it was like, oh,
it's a good looking championship.
But when we know Trips love the big gold, so of course he's gonna go with gold.
Facts, and he is making all the world titles on Raw looking similar. And it's fine. I don't care.
This man is Trinidad H.
All right, so next thing we'll talk about let's see, DOI. Okay, so Truth crushing finale for the victory. That was the way they got the victory. That was a nice move. I like that. Backstage, Dominic Mysterio got injured. Didn't know he got injured. Very good to see that. Not good to see he got injured, but very good to see. I did not know that beforehand. But Dominic Mysterio got injured. Had to bring in Santos Escobar. Damien Priest, who's now the world champion, really feeling himself. I might add, Mr. Priest, really feeling himself because now you're really talking down to Dominic JD worse than you were before. Like, oh, he couldn't bring Santos. Well, you know what? If you don't want Santos Escobar in there, Mr. Priest, you don't have a match. Okay, you hear me, Mr. Priest? You don't have a match. Why don't you team with JD McDonough and fight Ricochet? It's only Ricochet. No offense to Ricochet. It's only Ricochet. You act like you could just go out there and beat his ass, even though he's been beating everybody else in Judgment Day's ass. Why don't you go out there and team with him and beat his ass? Instead, you keep sitting these two. And then you get upset because one injured and say, hey, I'm going to do something smart. I'm going to get us somebody to replace him. And you have a problem with that. Problem with you, Damien Priest. You're feeling yourself. I still don't think you should be World Heavyweight Champion. Never liked you. Don't like the fact you clowned me because I said my favorite match was The Miz. I will never forgive you for that. Okay? Never forgive you for that, Damien Priest. Not a fan.
I'm sorry. I love Damien Priest since NXT, but he really is feeling himself a lot. He's been like he was like, look, I won, y'all lost, y'all suck. But it's like to the point it was growing, but golly, I didn't expect it to be like instant where it's just like y'all lackeys.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he told him later. And we'll go get to that because he basically told him that later. But it's going to be Santos Escobar as well as JD McDonough versus Andrade and Ricochet. Are you ready for this? We, sir, get the return of the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, the Ring General Gunther. First time he's been on television since he lost the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 2 weeks ago. It comes out with Imperium, cuts a promo where he says, look, I was the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. I elevated that Intercontinental Champion to heights you've never seen before. I held that championship longer than you ever seen before. Okay. I was the hunter. I was the hunted. I'm no longer the hunted. I'm the hunter. I'm entering myself in the King of the Ring. I'm declaring myself in the King of the Ring like it's the Royal Rumble. And I'm going to go after any championship I want. It could be an Intercontinental Championship. Doesn't matter. I'm going after that title. Before we talk about New Day coming out here, and I'm going to say it for the first time in ever, and it's going to hurt my heart when I say it, but before we talk about it, Gunther, which championship do you believe Gunther should go after if he wins, which I believe right now, I'll tell you, he's my favorite. If he wins that King of the Ring, which championship should he go after?
I really want him to go for the world, but something tells me he's gonna go for Cody. Something tells me, and we're gonna go deeper in with the continuation of that segment. But something showed me that he's gonna go for he may, and the draft is coming up too, so he may get that switch. He may switch over and be like, hey, you got your title. That's cool. Let me show you how I was running stuff. Bloodline is gone. Matter of fact, Bloodline never challenged me. Bloodline never came at me. So now I'm gonna show you why I'm more dangerous than he's gonna try to show that he's more dangerous than Bloodline. I loved everything that Gunther said. Gunther was standing on business, and it looked like he lost some weight. It looked like he lost some weight. My
roommate was saying the same thing. It looks like Gunther lost some weight. So that's a possibility.
So
Sheamus found it.
And the way this man was flying off the top rope while at the way he was, now this man lost more. Oh, his wrestling style about to be more savage. Like we about to get like that real NXT UK strong style wrestling from him, and I'm all for it. I'm totally for it. Any Gunther segment in general is a hit. He hasn't missed.
Well, one thing about it is that he was very poignant when he says, "I don't agree with him being the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time." That's just not my opinion on that. I think he has about 4 other ones that are ahead of him. I think he's in a contendership, no doubt, without doubt. And he had a very memorable Intercontinental Championship, but he's not my favorite. No,
I give him top 3 because
Miz has the best one, still in my opinion, in the 21st century.
Miz elevated that title so good that we forgot. People don't realize we forgot about the IC title for a while. The US title was above the IC title, and then when Miz came and was just shooting promo after promo after promo, and then his matches was that good, then when you get Bo Dallas over, and no disrespect to Bo, but during his, you better change that time.
You know what? That's not for nothing. Thank you. She's not your new Raw Women's Champion, is she? She's your WWE Women's World Champion. Thank you.
I know. Oh God.
Yeah.
It's so weird to say now.
It is weird to say. That's why I didn't. When I was thinking, I was rushing. I didn't even think about it. But thank you, Todd. I do need to change that title.
It's still the same. That's what even crazy. It's still because she ain't gonna go on SmackDown and try to.
No, she's not. She's staying on Raw clearly at this point.
But,
yeah, and we can talk about. We have top 5s coming up. We'll talk about top 5 Intercontinental Champions. New Day comes out, and this is the first time I was saying myself. And some people have been saying this for a while, and I've always fought it because how many wrestling events do you go to on average, Mr.
I go probably like 2 or 3 because and this is my campaign. Trips. Bring WrestleMania to Atlanta. We've had the Super Bowl.
That's more of a Nick Khan, not Triple H.
Nick, one of you, I don't even know who. One of you mother bring WrestleMania to Atlanta. I don't know why I haven't done it. We had the Super Bowl here. We've gotten other stuff here.
You've had WrestleMania there. My first WrestleMania was in Atlanta.
But look how long ago it was.
27. You're making me feel old. Don't do that.
I'm old too. That what makes it bad.
I drove from DC all the way to Atlanta for that WrestleMania. My first one. I was so hyped and I enjoyed it so much. And people think it's the worst one.
My kids back in my day, we had a WrestleMania here. Like I would feel.
Aren't y'all building a new stadium? If I remember correctly, I was told that, right?
It's not going to be actually like in Atlanta. Atlanta is going to be like in the metro.
No, that happens all the time. But aren't y'all building one, or am I incorrect?
But I'm trying to remember what's it built for? Like who's going to actually be there? But
what's Atlanta Stadium? Is
So we got Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
right? Yeah, Mercedes-Benz.
Then if you go up in like the Gwinnett area, there's the Cobb Energy, and that's where AEW has their stuff. Then there's the Louvre that has their own like arena center.
Where was WrestleMania 27 at? Mercedes-Benz?
Yeah, well, of course, before it was Mercedes-Benz, it was Georgia Dome.
Georgia Dome.
Yeah, it was at the Georgia
But that's
Dome.
where WrestleMania 27 was.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's time for y'all to have a new stadium.
Yeah.
But Mercedes-Benz, I drive because I go to Atlanta frequently, right?
Okay.
So I drive past the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. It's the Superdome, whatever it's called. It looks still to be a really nice stadium.
Yeah, because it just got built in 20. It's still kind of fairly new.
Yeah.
Because it just got built, it just got built in like 2016, 2017, I want to say. I never forget when.
So there's no reason to really build a new football stadium. Okay.
It was so stupid. To me, it was dumb.
We'll see but right now, every time I hear about WrestleMania in host cities, Atlanta is nowhere to be found. In that
makes no sense.
And we're still trying to figure out if it's going to be Las Vegas or Minneapolis. We had strong reports a couple weeks ago. It was like a done deal. It's in Minneapolis. Now we're hearing rumors that it's a done deal for it to be Las Vegas. Personally, selfishly, I'd rather it be in Las Vegas because I've been looking forward to it. And if it is in Las Vegas, almost all of UPR will be there next year if I can help it. But
going.
If it's in Minneapolis, only a handful of us will go if any of us are going. But anyway, back on topic because we did get off topic. New Day came out, and the reason how come I asked you that, Freckles, is because when you are at arena, you always hear some of the same chants over and over again. You'll usually hear the ones that's popular at the time, like lately I'm hearing, yeah, right? But always guaranteed to hear some Ric Flair woos every single time. Guaranteed. And the other thing I always hear is
back.
Always hear that, right? But for the first time,
I didn't hear it.
I did not hear, they weren't as loud, and I really think that the New Day are getting stale. And that's a problem. We got Skanks in Minneapolis too. I guarantee you that does not surprise me. Right? I was looking at it, I was like, damn. And I'm not saying they weren't funny. I'm not saying they weren't entertaining because they were, right? Yeah. But they weren't truly the New Day that I'm accustomed to. And this is no knock on them. New Day have been around for 10 freaking years.
Yeah, for a long time.
Not really changed anything in their gimmick, but they still maintain being over. Developed 2 world championship reigns off of it, right? And we're not going to count because I lost count. I think 11 world tag team championships off of it. Like,
yeah, they're like literally right under. If they win another one, they'll be like tied with the Usos with the most.
And Usos, in my opinion, the greatest tag team of all time. And that's debatable for a lot of people, but I just think the Usos are the greatest tag team.
It's hard to disagree that. It's hard to disagree because I always say on a technicality basis, New Day gave me more faction vibes than actual tag team. So we look at all the other tag teams, Usos, match quality, promo quality, persona, character development. I mean, come on. They had tag team titles while they was doing the whole. And it went from that to being full out.
And a lot of people were mad that they changed from that. They didn't think the new gimmick was going to work, right? And then the new gimmick worked, and it's like they were already at this level, and then that main eventing WrestleMania? Come on, bro.
Man.
I've never seen the Usos have a bad tag team match with anybody. No, and they've been wrestling for such a long time. How many tag teams have they faced? And they all clicked together. The Bangers of the New Day. Never seen them have a bad match, and they wrestle each other 20,000 times.
Oh God! And then still have one of the best tag team pay-per-view matches of all time.
Talking about the Hell in a Cell match. Oh, that was good. In my opinion, that's one of the best Hell in a Cells in the 20th. I mean, not 21st, because most of them in the 21st century, but of the last 10 years, one of the best Hell in a Cell matches I've ever seen. Love that match. I can watch that match any day of the week. Cue it up, Rob. Hell in a Cell, New Day versus Usos. New Day came out there, really ran down Gunther, but then also said that, hey, we wrestled these guys. And I should have known because everybody came out except for Gunther dressed like they were ready to wrestle. Yeah. Xavier was mentioned that he was going to go in the King of the Ring tournament too. He deserves to because he was the last King of the Ring. Now, granted, I am not a fan of King of the Ring anymore. I feel like there has not been a good King of the Ring since King Booker.
Yes.
I think all the other King of the Ring start off strong, then they just lose and lose and lose and lose and lose. Like to get the crown, you get taken L. But they wrestled each other, and we need to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about the match. We'll talk about the aftermath of the match, which is a more important thing.
Yes.
Right? So stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. You're watching Unpopular Review. Are you going to base every single one of your predictions off of their allegiance to CM Punk?
Tune in and find out. Where does FTR do most of their work?
On the mat.
On Collision. Who was their friend? CM Punk. Well, we have 3 champions, no title on the line. House of Black Works, remind me again. Collision. Who are they friends with again? Punk. Well, this is good. This goes into a theme of mine that people who are Team Punk and part of Collision are being punished. And that's going to play into my predictions, but that's why this is on 0 Hour.
I'm sorry, this comment made me funny. If you're friends with Punk, eat the mat.
Exactly.
Am I the only one that finds that funny? Like, Tony Khan hates CM Punk so much, anybody who's friends with his ass got to take an L. You say you want to be on TV? Sure. Who do you want to lose to?
That's what I'm going with.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Raw Review. Executive Consultant along with FreckledSensei here. That was the AEW Dynasty prediction show. We have a prediction show every single pay-per-view for WWE AEW. Next Thursday, we'll have a prediction show for Backlash, which is in France. But let's go ahead and talk more about this Imperium match with New Day, which was, again, another match that they've had constantly over and over and over again. New Day picks up the victory. Great. Glad to see them pick up a victory. And right before this happened, I said, damn, Giovanni Da Vinci's always the one taking the L.
Man.
Right? Gunther looks at Ludwig, should have known what was coming up next. I felt like they dragged it a little too long because when they panned the camera back to the ring and you saw him helping him up and they didn't cut the camera yet, and like, come on, man, nobody wants to see all this shit. You knew what was about to happen. Took too long. Somebody got their ass whooped, just like Mark Henry's song. And Giovanni was the one that got his ass whooped because he took the L by Ludwig. Where do you see the storyline going? Is Giovanni getting kicked out? And if Giovanni gets kicked out, what's his next step in his evolution when it comes to WWE?
Giovanni definitely getting kicked out. It was going to be in the running. I'm curious to see if they just going to run a 2-man thing, or are they going to? That's messed up. But I wonder if they're going to do a 2-man thing, or who else would they bring in? But I can't think of anybody who they will bring into Imperium. I felt like it was just like it was just one of those like closeted type of groups, like that. You're on mute again. Oh, but yeah, it just felt like one of them closeted groups, low key. But I will say we saw it coming. I felt like they dragged out him getting actually kicked out of Imperium in general. It was funny because somebody on Twitter had said Ludwig didn't just want Giovanni Vinci out of Imperium. He damn near wanted that motherfucker to stop breathing, because that's what he did. He was this man was mad. But I will be mad too if we don't know what was going on in the background in back area when they will always lose, and it was because of Giovanni. And then Gunther was looking at him. Gunther was probably chopping his ass to the damn white meat in the back, and he got tired of that shit and got tired of carrying and all that. I don't get how though. That's crazy. But anyway, but
you get used to it from her.
But yeah, it was like okay, finally this is coming. Finally this has happened. It was so funny how the whole crowd played into it. Like, oh my god, oh no way. It was like, come on now, we knew. He's the weak link. I have no idea what's going to happen with Giovanni. I don't know if they're going to go with a redemption arc, or he's just going to be hurt for a while, and later on probably it'll be a backlash match. Could be like a little filler match for backlash between him and Ludwig. I don't know. It's just it's so many avenues to go with that whole set with them three. I thought at first, I really thought that Gunther was just going to leave both of them, but he does need a right hand man. That's the type of person he's become. If you're a general, you need a lieutenant. So you need a lieutenant or a captain, and obviously the captain was Ludwig, and unfortunately Giovanni was trying to be the sergeant, but just like in the military, a lot of sergeants are incompetent. You just gotta let them go.
Yeah, this comment is interesting. Todd says, if Giovanni goes face, who can they put him with? Dude has talent, but he's never really been a promo guy. This is going to go back to what I said when it comes to Vince McMahon and why some things about him I really appreciate. When Gunther originally was on the main roster and got to put in SmackDown, they didn't bring all Imperium. They brought him and they brought Ludwig. They left Giovanni's ass in NXT, right? And people were saying, oh, why would you have Imperium with all of them, right? And I said, look, right? I live in Orlando. I've been in NXT. I stopped going lately, but I've been in NXT. I know how NXT works, but I also know how the main roster works. The same people who go to the main roster shows do not go to NXT shows every freaking week. Yes. NXT puts everybody over, right? Because they feel like they're home talent, they're home kid. Giovanni was not main roster talent. He has the look. You're right. He has the talent, the capabilities. You're right. But what he lacks, if you ever expect to make it in WWE, in a main roster, I don't care who's in charge, is you have to have that charisma. And that's not something he has, right? Ludwig does have it. Why? Because he's out there. He makes facial expressions. Like I always made a reference, if you watch UPR back in that time, when Gunther came out at first, Ludwig was always positioned in the same freaking spot for a reason. Right there in front of the camera. Why? Because every time Gunther did something, you panned it over to him, and he has a facial expression because he's very good with facial expressions, which Vince likes, right?
And
facial
expression. Fucking jacket. The jacket twirl.
Oh, the jacket twirl is very good.
Twirl.
Very good. Everything behind Imperium, I usually credit anyway to Ludwig, because I think backstage he's the one that actually calls most of those shots of what to do, right? That's why Gunther got in shape. Gunther was told, you need to lose some weight. Lewis said, hey, I'll help you and I'll get you with it. And they teamed up with Giovanni, who was always pretty much in shape. But they all dedicated to get themselves in better shape, and they did a good job. Lewis was there on the bike. When Vince was initially gone, Triple H took over, brought up Giovanni. Yeah, it was good. Don't get me wrong. As a tag team, they're good because he can bounce off of Ludwig. But realistically speaking, he still don't have the charisma. Lewis still did all the talking. He did the coat twirl that you're mentioning. Giovanni just came out there and usually smiled and walked. That's all he did.
Yeah.
And wrestled. If Giovanni, and this is the point that took too long to get to, but if Giovanni is released from Imperium, I don't think it's going to be too far along after Giovanni gets released from WWE.
I agree. I totally agree. I thought, honestly, I thought he was going to get cut, on Black Friday. Like I thought he was going to get the axe then, but I guess they trying to make it into like a storyline type of thing where it's like, unlike Jenner, who got cut, where they didn't really have a story angle to go to where you could see him one last time and it's like boom, it's like god damn, he left. Last time we saw him, we got buried by the Rock. Well, I guess that was because that was foreshadowing. The motherfucker.
Yeah, and not for nothing, because Dice and I, we still debate this. I hope you still watch it. Nobody cares that Jinder Mahal got released. I'm sorry. Okay, no one cares. All right.
I kind of didn't care. I was just
like, you did. No,
like, oh shit, he really got released.
Oh, he got released. Oh, Jinder Mahal. Oh, in this year. I'm sorry. Yeah, nobody cares. When y'all come out, they tried. Now, could they did a better job? Probably, but it's hard to appease when you have too many people. Because I'm a fan of roster releases. Now, sometimes you see somebody you wish that, damn, I wish they didn't get released. But at the same time, they're overcrowded in WWE, and they have 3 freaking brands, man. But they are overcrowded. AEW's overcrowded. WWE's overcrowded. They need to release some people. And this year was not doing anything. Sorry, ALP, you're not doing anything. Okay, you're not. You don't have the charisma to be on the main roster and make it succeed.
Honestly,
Jinder Mahal is good on the mic, but
why they brought back. Those are the people I didn't really understand they brought back. And
our very own Big Daddy Cool used to get into arguments with people because when AOP was brought back, people were before they showed up on the roster. Because remember, they were back in the company for almost a year before they showed up on TV, and people were all like, "Oh, they're back, they're back." And Steve was like, "How many AOP shirts?" That's always his go-to. I know Dice was upset about, but that's always his go-to. How many AOP shirts? Nobody cared that AOP was gone. Nobody missed AOP, right? They were on the main roster for a while. It didn't succeed. Nobody give a crap, but for some reason, because why? Because when they were NXT, they did okay because NXT
did they even have
anybody over. No, anybody can get AOP over. And people like, oh, they did well. And Triple H, brings his boys. He likes his boys, all right? Everybody has favorites, and you can tell Triple H's favorites. AOP has no business being bad. Even when they come out now, they get no reaction. All right, that reactions mean stuff in wrestling.
It died out. It died out. Like after NXT, it died. that 1 year post NXT, it was over. Like the whole hype was down. They kept getting hurt, and
there was one where one of them got hurt, then the other one came back, and the other one got hurt or something.
Yeah,
There was
and for next for nothing, the Creed brothers are a better version of AOP.
The Creed brothers are one of the most impressive tag teams I've seen come out new in years. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because they're more Shawn Michaels guys and not Triple H guys. I don't know why they're not getting what, because even when they come out, they don't get a reaction much either when the Creed brothers come out. But by the end of the match, they have a lot of people on their feet because they are that damn good. And I think Julius Creed, Brutus Creed is good too. But I think Julius Creed is one of your next big stars if you market him right. And you can get him some charisma behind him. That man is Kurt Angle, Chad Gable-like to me. All right, I think Chad Gable is the most. I think let's pull Chad Gable back, and we'll talk about Chad Gable in a second. Is the Chad Gable's shorter, which we all know, but besides that, Chad Gable is like 3 inches taller. That's one of your most complete wrestlers in the world, in my opinion. All right, you hear me, Will Ospreay? No disrespect to you, but Chad Gable is one of the most complete athletes in the world. He is the only person I say has come close to Kurt Angle, in my opinion. That's how good Chad Gable is in between those ropes.
Yeah, no, I was hoping when they did the whole my son, I get they was trying to go Family Guy with it with My Black Son, but I wish it really was Chad that was Kurt's son, because it made more sense.
It made more sense, and not for nothing, because I think and it's sad that his career was cut short. I do believe Jason Jordan was very, very good in that ring as well. Very good. But before we get to Chad Gable, Drew McIntyre comes out, sits in the ring.
Eddie Drew.
Here comes Sheamus, who, and not for nothing, I feel like did lose a pound or two since last week, right? I joked with my roommate. I was like, maybe last week he had a burger before he came out to the ring, because we know you might wake up one day and you're skinny, but you had that first meal, and hey, right? And maybe that will happen to Sheamus. Maybe Sheamus got hungry and said, "I'm going to get something to eat before I go out," and it looked like it. And no, he did not look like he was in the shape he was back in the day, or a year ago, for heaven's sakes, but he still looked like he looked bigger than you and I. He looked bigger than most of these ham and eggers that are sitting in the mama's basement.
Listen,
and stop fat shaming. But I did like the fact that they intertwined it into their conversation.
Yeah, I did actually like how they did that, and it made sense that the next person that will come out to confront Drew will be none other than one of his closest friends in Sheamus. It made all the most sense. It was very sentimental. Drew is just on like a pettiness of petty runs right now. This man is just I can't wait for CM Punk to come back, because we already know that match is going to be that match is going to be a banger. That match is going to be a banger.
So put CM Punk out for another 4 months.
I feel like it may, but it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to tell, because we haven't the only time we've seen CM Punk really wrestle has been Royal Rumble.
That's the only match he's had.
That's it. So we don't know. We need to see him do a little bit of some rubber matches, do like some live shows here and there, and then I can see if he's still durable enough to go this length of a schedule. But yeah, the segment itself was definitely cool. It was definitely funny. I laughed. Poor Shinsuke. Like
poor Shinsuke.
Shinsuke has turned into a jobber.
He has, and I was suggesting that, and once again, I have no inside information. I don't know. I didn't talk to anybody in the business in a while, actually. But he's in his mid-40s, and it wouldn't be surprised to me if he actually said, "You know what? I'm looking toward the end of my career." I really do believe that. One thing I always say about Shinsuke is, people said WWE has not used him properly, and I see why they say that sometimes. But realistically speaking, Shinsuke is still very decorated, even on the main roster. He's won the Tag Team Championship. Yeah. He's won the Intercontinental title multiple times, the United States Championship, I believe. He just never won the world title, and I'm not sure if he ever was really ready to win the world championship. Some people said that WrestleMania, but I think AJ Styles won. He was the right decision.
Yeah,
I was for Shinsuke, but I think AJ. I think that was more.
I never saw Shinsuke being face of WWE. Like he can be face of like another company, but WWE's brand and how they present their champions and things of that nature, he didn't give like main big title type of energy for me. He just never did. He was always like, even in NXT, it was just like, it was just like I didn't really care about his title reign until Samoa Joe came for him. That's when I felt like it started getting interesting and started getting kind of cool. And it's like funny how you always need a TNA person to get him going, because we had Samoa Joe, then the whole AJ thing. So kind of find that a little funny, and even LA Knight. So he's like the jobbers for TNA people.
Yeah, Shinsuke definitely lost. I do believe he's thinking about toward the end of his career. I'm not saying he's retiring this year, but I think he's, hey,
it's coming up.
Sheamus picked up the victory, so I guess they're going to do the Sheamus Drew McIntyre route again. But Sheamus also, because I said it when I said Shinsuke, I was like, damn, you know what? Sheamus is probably the same age, if not older than Shinsuke himself. Yeah, he might also, because he had a big neck injury issue. I know they tried to play off last week. He said he never felt better. It's like, but maybe he needs to also start thinking about the end of his career. You know what I'm saying? He's 45. He still looks in great shape. I don't care if they say he's fat or not.
Yeah,
he still looks like he's in great shape.
He's about 46. He's about 46. He turned 46.
Looks good for his age. I'll give him credit. He looks good. I just saw his debut. They upload on YouTube, I think. I saw his debut, and I mean, he's aged very well, in my opinion. Good thing for Drew McIntyre to do, because you're not going to have him go after Damien Priest immediately right now. I was telling my roommate, I believe when he faces Damien Priest, he needs to beat Damien Priest. Okay, I don't care how well you build him up. Drew McIntyre, in my opinion, should be your world champion right now, and that's not just because I'm not a huge fan of Damien Priest as world champion for personal and professional reasons. I just think right now Drew McIntyre is your guy. On Monday Night Raw. I really do. If you want to elevate that championship to be on par with the WWE championship, it needs to be Drew McIntyre. With Damien Priest, even though he's not doing a bad job so far, and we'll talk more about him in a minute.
We just needed him to hurry up and cash in on the.
That's exactly what needed to happen. But the world title and WWE title should be equivalent. It wasn't with Roman as the WWE champion. It wasn't going to be, because that's Roman Reigns right now. I don't care what you say. That's
and then it was more. And then he had it for 4 years. Like
he had it for 4 years. You're not touching it. But now that he's not champion, I don't care if it's Cody or not, de-elevates a little bit. It loses a little bit of value. Still good champion, but now you have your chance to make them both equal again. And I don't think it does it with Damien Priest. I think it does it with Drew McIntyre. But
I think the same way. I feel like Damien, and I think that's why I like the fact that we have a second champion, because it gives limelight to certain people in that caliber, like the Damien.
100%. 100%. That's why I've always been a fan of the brand split, because a lot of people hate the brand split. I love the brand split. You have all these wrestlers.
Keep it.
Yeah, I don't need to see Drew McIntyre on Raw and SmackDown every single week when you have all these other wrestlers. So this gives other people a platform. I like the shows being split. I like the shows having both different feels. I don't need Raw to feel like SmackDown. I don't need SmackDown to feel like Raw. So I definitely always appreciate that. I do like the changes that they're doing as far as the production. There's certain things about WWE's production. WWE's always had fire production. But the fact that they're taking all these, I like the when they announced the champions in the ring now, and they do the 8K camera to show you.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I love that. That's great. They got rid of the augmented reality thing with the 3D things. Yeah. I didn't mind those.
Even though they said they're going to reduce that, there's been reports that they're going to like reduce it. Mm-hmm. And I think you're going to see it more like at pay-per-views, but not like just at.
That's fine, because they didn't really. Some of them I thought were a little kooky. I didn't like. Becky Lynch had one that kind of bothered me one time. It was a giant head when she was big time Bex.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I liked Shinsuke's though with the guitar. They had a little stringy thing. I thought that was good.
Yes.
So they've had some of them that I thought was actually really, really good. Bobby Lashley's
Judgment Day really has like the hard
Judgment Day. I liked. I thought those were good. So I was fine with some of those. I never liked the opening of Raw and SmackDown ones, where I think one was a robot and the other.
Oh yeah.
I never liked those though, so I could do away with those. Yeah, but we'll talk more about the other things they do with the camera angle when we get to Becky Lynch. But the highlight of the night for me was this interview segment or talking segment, which WWE does with Chad Gable.
Oh yeah,
right. And we're going to talk more about Chad Gable and what he said when we come back from this quick commercial break. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Reviews.
They won't accept Liv Morgan, but you're going to Maxine Dupree?
Oh, shit.
Anyway.
It might be because they're in Europe and they don't know how to fix. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Okay. Yo,
Now-
Monday's gonna be wild. Let's see what kind of bullshit they come up with. All right.
Picking up telepathically, you was picking up what I was about to put down. We are going into the goodness gracious, great ass of fire part of the show because it was nothing but beauty on this screen. Even Oscar with that makeup in the back. I love me some Oscar, but we love King Coda over here a little bit more.
What my point is that I like how they did it there instead of like backstage or in the ring, and the audience is also a part of it. You know what I mean? Like this is different.
So we get these luscious ladies. Who put that? George. 2 scrumptious chocolate cakes, extra fudge, extra ooey gooiness. Oh God! If Mike was here, he would be doing the CEO dance right now.
Look. Yo, amazing.
That is the SmackDown review. You can see that every Saturday at noon with Dice as well as the Mark Victor Rodriguez. You can see them simp over Bailey or somebody every single week, but very entertaining show as they bring to you SmackDown, which is the highest rated show in WWE. So, I mean, actually, wrestling SmackDown is. So, looking forward to that every single Saturday. Well, we already talked about Monday Night Raw. We're talking about something that SmackDown does not have, and that is one Chad Gable, as he likes to be called, Master Gable, who ran down pretty much the Alpha Academy brutally. I mean, this was a change in Chad Gable, much different than his last heel run, which he was a little bit comedic, even though he was a heel.
Right.
But that heel run that he had, in my opinion, got him to that new heights. People don't understand how hot exactly at that time RK Bro was. RK Bro was still over outside next to the bloodline. The most over gimmick WWE had at the time, selling all types of shirts, getting all types of reactions.
The 2 snake things going. Right.
And they won the World Tag Team Championships or the Raw Tag Team Championships. And the team that defeated them the first time was actually the Alpha Academy. Yeah. Right? They were running through everybody in the Alpha Academy because they had that much trust. Why? Because Chad Gable was going out there running down these crowds and was doing great reactions out of it.
Man.
Got popular as a face again, and then became one of the most hate. It doesn't take much to become a huge heel in WWE anymore. All you got to do is turn on your partner, it seems like. That's Santos Escobar, right? Chad Gable turned on Sami Zayn and is getting heel.
Triple H is king of doing that.
Triple H knows how to do a backstab, right? That's what Triple H is known for, right? Maxine Dupree, Otis, right? Who my roommate thinks might get released if this happens. Akira Tozawa, who I think might get released if this happens, and I really don't like that because low-key, I'm a big Akira Tozawa fan.
I think they're keeping Tozawa because you still need a jobber. You still need a jobber.
You still do need jobbers.
So Tozawa is your entertaining jobber. Otis turns into, and I feel so bad for Otis because I feel like Otis had like ridiculous potential. But
Otis was one of the most overacts they had for quite a while. Yes. I can tell you what hurt Otis to a certain extent. One of the things that hurt Otis, I think, was the pandemic.
Yeah.
He was getting a lot of praise. He was getting a lot of popularity. The pandemic kind of killed it. They still tried to go with him during the pandemic, but it was a little bit lackluster, so he had to take a step back. Remember, this man won the Money in the Bank.
Exactly.
He was on part of possibly being the world champion. He might have lost it. Who knows? But he was on the road to being possibly world champion. Then they decided to take a back step. I was fine with it. Why? Because the Miz ended up getting in and winning a world championship, and I was ecstatic and I was hopping all over.
I was like, if it wasn't anybody else, I was like, if it was anybody else, I'd have been mad. But once it was the Miz, I was like, okay, all right, yeah, makes sense. Give it to a vet. Give it to a good vet. I'm cool with that.
Heavy machinery was good in my opinion. But I did enjoy it. But Otis, and they all went in line. They all agree with what Chad Gable says. Now, the rumors, of course, we all hear is that the Creed brothers are going to join. I think that'll be a great move.
I thought that was going to happen today.
I think it's still happening, though.
It gave like it was happening tonight. It literally, I was like, oh, they're going to really pull the trigger with this. But at that point, then it's like officially Chad Gable is literally Kurt Angle 2.0. Because now he got his own, Charlie Haas and Chester Benjamin, and you got him himself. But not only that, Chad is literally Perk Angle and Kurt Angle combined. It's crazy.
He can really do something with it, and I'll be interested in seeing. I think this is the right direction to go. I'm happy for it. I'm excited to see it. Before that happened, I forgot to mention this. Sami Zayn, your Intercontinental Champion, was backstage. He got attacked by Big Bronson Reed. Now, Big Bronson Reed, I've never been a fan of, right? I'm just not a fan. He's had some decent matches. I think he had some group matches with Gunther, right? But I've never truly been a huge fan, but I see why they have him going up against Sami Zayn soon. I don't know what else to say about this. What are your thoughts when it comes to Sami Zayn and, more importantly, Big Bronson Reed?
It was too predictable. That was my only problem. It was too predictable because it was like Bronson been on this tear of, well, the only reason why I haven't really won shit is because I had a baby. So I'm coming back. I'm trying to get everything and take everything. He's good. I don't know what he's missing, but he's missing something. He doesn't. It's like he's missing it. He's missing that it factor, and it sucks because with a lot of big guy wrestlers, it's either that they're funny. It's either they're funny, or they're just really that strong, or they're really just that big. It's something. Something's gives. With Bronson, it's like he's trying to show that, I can do this, but I can do this, but I can do this. Oh, wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. And it's like condensed to one thing that you're really good at. And maybe we can get behind you. But right now, nah. I don't even see him beating Sammy. That's why he did the whole little heel tactic of hitting him after the whole talk. So I feel like, and I'm glad that Sammy has the IC title. I feel like now we're going to see, we're not going to see like super duper long matches. We're going to see him fight for his life at certain times. But we're also going to see him get the best of certain people. So it's going to give a chance of where with Gunther, we were just like, they getting destroyed.
Kenny from the Spirit Squad citing that Bronson beat down. Here's a fun fact. I see Kenny almost every week. One thing Triple H does a lot, when he first took over, he was doing the pull-aparts a lot, right? Where two people are fighting in the ring, and then they had to have everybody come out from the back to split the guys up. He was doing that almost every week for the first few weeks he was running Monday Night Raw. But one thing that I feel like they do too much, especially on Raw, they do on SmackDown too, but especially on Raw, is somebody gets beat up backstage, right? Or somebody's fighting backstage and they have to pull apart back there. I always have to see those officials and Jamie Noble and Kenny and Adam Pearce especially. You're like, stop. Oh, no. It happens every week. Like, less is more. Learn from Paul Heyman. I don't need to see it every week, okay? It makes it more impactful to see it a few far in between.
And then we had two of them. That's the crazy.
Yeah, we did, because I was thinking about the other one, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I'm like, it just needs to stop. Chad Gable, the downer of the night, and it wasn't through any of these individuals' fault because, well, quite frankly, I find all of them to be talented, is this tag team match with, and it's going to show as Dom Mysterio, but he was taken out, and that is Santos Escobar and JD Madonna versus Ricochet and Andrade. I'm just not invested in this storyline.
Me neither. I feel like the buildup is, and I have a 85% confidence that the buildup is that Dom is going to be the new leader of LWO combined. It's going to be like it's like Mexican NWO storyline where you're gonna have LWO, then you're gonna have like LWO Black and White, and Dom is going to be that person to carry on forth. Bray gets injured, gets put out. Carlito turns, and that's it. But my problem is that's going to be your peak for Dom.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that JD and Finn is going to be together, and that's all I see from this. Ricochet's going to be Ricochet, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna make him like the main person for Speed.
Mm-hmm.
And Santos, honestly, Santos is Santos. So Santos can do almost anything. He can be in a faction and he's good. He can be solo and he's good. We've seen it so many times in NXT. We've seen it. We've seen how he has been. So I was
Santos
like,
is solid, and he's also has the benefit of being Triple H's boy. He's another Triple H boy.
Yeah.
Andrade is solid as well. I don't think Andrade has found his footing on the main roster yet on Raw.
Nah.
I think they're trying to make him a big deal, but they still don't know exactly what to do with him. Dirty Dom, and we'll talk about this in a second. Think he's going to be easily heavily involved when Rhea comes back because he's going to be tied up with Liv Morgan, which they finally teased today. I was happy to see it because you knew it was going to happen when she said, "I'm going to take everything from you."
Yeah,
I think that includes Dirty Dom because Rhea's obviously coming back as a face.
Dom on the pole,
and
Dom
that's
on the pole.
That's why Dom has to leave Rhea because Dom is a heat magnet. This is why I always say Damien Priest is not a good world champion because you're not the number one star in your faction. You're not even number two. Realistically, you're not even number three, right?
Because Finn was
Finn is still there. Finn is still there.
Rhea was the person that organized everything, and Dom was the heat
magnet. Exactly. Now granted, Finn is taking a back seat. You can tell he's taking a back seat to both of them. And that's because Finn is not spring chicken either. But he's fine. He just signed a new contract, and I think Finn and Damien Priest maybe a year apart. If that, Damien Priest is not exactly
he's not,
a young buck. I think he's around 40, if not 40 himself.
Yeah, I think he is actually.
Yeah, I think he is 40. So that being said, at the end he came out and just dominated Andrade and Ricochet and said, "Hey, just what you said earlier. I don't need any of y'all lackeys. It's Damien Priest and y'all."
Yeah, he's on his Damien David Ruffin Priest.
El Campeon. But you know what? I liked it. I thought it was very good. He go out there, he dominate. He showed he's a dominant world champion. That's all he needs to do because right now that's the only way that's going to make anybody take him seriously. He needs to go out there and just dominate. I think it made JD look weak, which JD always looks weak, but he's in the Judgment Day, so he gets away with it. And I think it makes Dirty Dom look weak. Now, Dirty Dom always looks weak as well for the most part, but he's a heat magnet. Now, I still think Dirty Dom, I hope you're watching Dice. I think Dirty Dom is more over than Jinder Mahal ever was. That's my personal opinion.
No, yeah.
You can't put a WWE title on Jinder Mahal and tell me he was over. No, he's the worst champion, in my opinion. One of the worst champions I've ever seen. Dirty Dom has wrestled 3 WrestleManias. Jinder Mahal's wrestled 1. And nobody remembers it. Dirty Dom, in my opinion, can be a main event talent. Yeah, it was a fatal 4-way match at WrestleMania 34, I believe. For United States, triple threat match for the United States champion Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton versus Damn,
that was a memory on lock because
Venom McNugget could be tag team champions. Exactly, they could be a tag team. Dirty Dom will be in that do something else. But I think if Dirty Dom put on some weight, okay,
he could,
if he could put on some weight, I think he is a future world champion. And I honestly swear to you, I believe that. I think he's very good in that ring.
He already got the ring talent.
He has the ring talent. He has the mic skills. He can be a world champion, but he looks too freaking small. Yeah. When he flexes, I cringe a little bit. It's like, but you're doing it to draw heat. I know why you're doing it.
Right.
But you can get in the gym. When you joined WWE originally, you were bigger. Not necessarily in a good way, but you were bigger. You lost weight.
He actually was.
Yeah, he lost weight.
Even the tag team title run with his dad.
With his father. Mm-hmm. He lost weight. Now it's time to bulk up a little. I'm not saying you have to go out there looking like you're Damian Priest or Roman Reigns or something like that. But you can bulk up a little bit. You could, even if you just get to a little shade below Ricochet, because Ricochet is actually in very good shape. He's just also short. It has no charisma.
But he's ripped. Yeah, so that's the only thing. That's the only thing. Dom just need to be ripped. Get rid of the vest. Basically do what Roman did. Get rid of the vest.
But Roman also works out a lot, and he needs to work out because he's not there. So he works out because at WrestleMania, I felt like he was looking in the best shape of his life. I've seen him look in good shape a lot of times. He was looking. I forgot what show I was on, Freckles, but I said that there was when I was at that WrestleMania, they panned the camera to Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, and then they went to Rock and Roman Reigns and said, "What the hell is this? Why they got these two gods fighting these two?" Like the size difference. It didn't make any sense.
Watching it on TV, you was like any person that just didn't even know wrestling and just saw they would have been like, oh, they about to get their asses.
Yeah, the math wasn't mathing. And the funny thing is, I went to the Royal Rumble as well. And when I saw Roman at the Royal Rumble, I thought he didn't look in as good shape as he normally does.
Right.
Still great. Once again, like Sheamus. Bigger than me. I ain't shaming you, buddy. Right. But I didn't think you looked at your best shape. But then at WrestleMania came, that man was in final form. Rock should not look like that. Now, granted, I've always said I know Rock's had some surgeries, right? But Rock should not look like that at 51 years old. Like, man, it makes no sense.
But there's a rumor about him and how he got that. But
no, I know, and I believe it's true.
I believe it's true too.
Battle Royal for the World Heavyweight Championship. Next, we're not even going to talk about all that nonsense that happened backstage. We're going to talk about Becky Lynch's entrance, but we're going to talk about that when we take our final commercial break. I think it's a final commercial break. Let me set this up. Tomorrow,
yes, sir,
we are having a draft for AEW. Thursday, we're having a mock draft for WWE. Find out more information about it after this break.
We got a backstage interview here.
Renee Paquette.
When is it not Renee? Mind you, I have zero wrong with Renee. I mean, listen, all you guys out there know, you've been watching me and watching us. I don't not like Renee. I just think she's overused.
I mean, every match has her afterwards.
Every
single.
Can we do Cactus Katie segments? Like backstage with Cactus Katie.
We're going backstage with Cactus Katie, aka the Batgirl.
I may have to change my background for that one.
Can you change your background, please?
I don't know.
You have like a bat cave or like.
Are you in Mexico? What are you doing?
No, Israel.
Oh, this is Israel.
Yeah, I don't know how to change it.
Do you have the 50 Shades of Grey background?
No, that's just my normal background.
Oh!
I love this one. Last time Dan was like this was when you and Jack and Shay was reviewing Collision and Shay's on kept beeping. You're damn right. You're damn right. Because you know what? I don't need to hear a little beep, beep, beep.
Hey, did the roles reverse from last week? Are you lit and I'm not?
Oh, maybe, Vincent. Maybe.
Finally, somebody else besides me gets lit.
Let's go. Got my blood pressure going through the roof right now. I don't know what's going on.
Drew McIntyre, Becky Lynch, Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair, Carmelo Hayes, Roxanne Perez, The Rock. Year after year, the best from Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and NXT are drafted. This year, who will be drafted to which show, and how will they change the landmark of professional wrestling? Join us on the Unpopular Reviews Wrestling Show with the Executive Consultant, Wrestling Doll, and Dice Man. Remember, the Z is silent. With your host, Mike Knox. That's 3 X's because he's hardcore. As they draft who they think will be best for each brand. Tune in this Thursday as Unpopular Review Wrestling gives you the Draft Preview Show. And for the first time ever, Unpopular Review takes it to another level with a fantasy booking of the AEW Draft, where AEW Dynamite's Dan the Man and AEW Collision's Vincent LaSpada, with your host, the Executive Consultant. All this Thursday night. Link in bio.
The AEW draft will actually be tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. right after UPRE. So if you're subscribed to us at Unpopular Wrestling, please go ahead and subscribe to us at Unpopular Entertainment. Reviews none other than X-Men 97 Episode 2. We're going to go fast and furious, rapid fire because we got to catch up. Because Episode 8, I think, drops this Wednesday. So, but yes, join us tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. Immediately after that, join us at Unpopular Wrestling for the AEW Draft Special. And, of course, immediately after that, watch the NXT review show with the Wrestling Doll. And this gentleman here who'll be filling in for Bad Guy Jack tomorrow, FreckledSensei. He's just filling in everywhere. But you can watch FreckledSensei each and every single Monday night along with myself, as well as Evil Dose right here immediately after Monday Night Raw. Typically, it's my fault this week, 11:05 p.m. Start time. But let's talk about the main event for the Raw Women's Championship. It starts off with Becky Lynch seeing a whole bunch of fights backstage, grabs the microphone from Jackie Redmond, says, let me go ahead and take it from here. Sees Maxine Dupree along the way, gives her some words of encouragement. walks backstage some more, says her little stupid line that I hate. The man is coming around to Columbus, Ohio, and I am looking for a fight. Same line. That's not over. Don't know why she says it, but she loves singing it. Why? Because one of her favorite wrestlers was The Rock growing up. If you can't tell that from her finishing maneuver. Sees Triple H backstage, right. Said we need a new picture because I'm about to be the World Women's Champion. Goes out there. Battle Royal begins. I was not happy with this. I wanted Nia Jax to win. I would have been fine with Liv Morgan winning. I feel like if Becky Lynch was going to win the Women's World Championship, which I was going to be okay with, I thought it would be WrestleMania, right? There was no reason for her to lose at WrestleMania if she was going to win it. I thought maybe she was taking some time off. Well, it looked like that's what she was doing, helping her husband, nurse him back to health because he's going to be a little while. I'm not saying she needed to be gone the whole time, but a good month or two for Becky Lynch, I think would have did her good if she wasn't going to win the Women's World Championship. Like I said, I picked her to win. I was happy Rhea won, right? Right. But I thought it was Becky's time. I thought Becky can win the championship. She hasn't had the title in 2 years. I thought she paid her dues pretty well. I mean, she's a 6-time women's champion, so it's not like she's hurting. But I could see it. So for her not to win, I thought, in my opinion, the person who deserved it the most tonight was Nia Jax. FreckledSensei, your thoughts?
Same. God, the ending of that was so mid. It was worse than Quavo's diss response to Chris Brown.
Talk about that in a second.
Ooh, but yes, it was worse than that. I was mad. It should have been either Liv or Nia. I would have been super happy if it was Nia. It felt like it was that moment for her. That would have been like the perfect moment to just cash in. And same as you said, if Becky was going to get the title anyway, could have just gave it to her at WrestleMania. There was no point. It was no point. It was no point of her getting the title at all. It seemed like a waste. Seemed like just my biggest problem is if you're going to try to elevate all these other women, wrestlers, you need somebody not named Charlotte or Becky to have the title. They don't need the title all the time. Just because she got a book. She done finished more stories than even doggone Cody Rhodes can even think of at this point. She even got a literary book. She's selling a literal book of a story within a story. And she becomes champion. Again, we did not need this. Nobody needed this. The match itself was great. The table spots was amazing. But I said it in my head. I said, once that table broke, I was like, oh, hell. They're going to find some way to Becky this shit up and make her win. They was going to find some way where she just gets this incredible strength out of nowhere, just this determination from the last, and just wins it. And I was like, y'all ruined the momentum. Y'all made it completely obvious that there's no way that Nia's going to win. Is going to be champ anytime soon, which sucks because why did she come back then?
And has been doing a tremendous job since she came back. Tremendous job.
Like this is some of her best work in years. Like since probably when she broke Becky's nose. Outside of that, this has been her best work. And she's lost weight. She's looking good. She developed a great promo, the best promo in my opinion of last week. She did a good promo again today, short, sweet, to the point. And she does a great job. Now, she tried to put somebody through the table. It didn't work. So she picked up, improvised, and tried again. Still didn't work, but still looked strong doing it. And I really was upset that she wasn't on the WrestleMania card. I felt like she deserved to be on the WrestleMania card, but they gave her the main event at Elimination Chamber where she lost to Rhea. Then she lost to on Raw a couple weeks later to Becky Lynch. Didn't show up at WrestleMania. I felt like that kind of hurt her a little bit, but she came back looking strong yet again. And you still didn't have her win. Now, my runner-up that I thought could have happened was Liv Morgan. I was like, okay, it should at least be one of these two because Liv Morgan, the story is there, so it makes sense, right? But you still gave it to Becky Lynch. She didn't need it at this point. If you're not going to have her be the one to beat Rhea, which I thought that should have been the one to beat Rhea because I felt like that was believable. Yeah.
Right. But when Becky lost, I was like, okay, Becky's taking time off, and they really want to run with this Liv thing. Liv can take everything from her, take the world title, take Dom. Boom. That's taking everything from you. So they could still run it without her beating Rhea 1, 2, 3. by having her injure Rhea, which she did, and then win the women's world title because of it. Instead, you gave me Becky Lynch. The crowd was happy. Becky Lynch is still immensely over. She got booed at WrestleMania, though.
Oh, she always gonna be over. The only reason why she was booed at WrestleMania is because it was Rhea. Anybody else that was not named Rhea Thickly in that match,
I see you developed a Mike Knox and Dice talk of Rhea Thickly.
But anybody not named her Becky would have gotten the cheer. But because it was Rhea, it was everybody who shot that Hot Topics fantasy of all time. So I understood that. But this made no sense. I don't see the storyline from this. I don't see the angle from this. I don't understand if she beefs with Liv at first. That makes no sense. If she beefs with Nia again, then it's gonna be like, all right, how many times are we gonna do this over and over and over and over and over again? Like, Jesus. Now you're doing it like it's Stone Cold versus The Rock type of on-site thing. It's like Peter with the chickens.
I see Nia possibly getting drafted to SmackDown.
I love that for her.
You know, I think she has. Well, it depends on who's getting drafted over the. The draft will mean a lot, right? So Nia is either going to get drafted to SmackDown or no. I would keep Jade and Bianca on SmackDown. Nia needs to go over. Nia needs to go over to SmackDown.
Yeah, Jade and Bianca is getting built to get the tag team titles and go on a good ass run. Which every time I'm gonna keep saying this, every time we talk about the tag team titles, Sasha was right. Sasha and Naomi was right about the tag team titles. You needed people to cook it. You needed people to let it elevate. And ironically, the main people that's been elevating tag team scenes when it comes to the women, it's been people of color.
I mean, they weren't wrong in that. I just didn't agree with necessarily how they left the company. I thought that was a little bit overdone.
Yeah, in a sense, because it's like you could have tried to talk it out with somebody else. I get the other person was saying stay in your place, stay in your corner, and I kind of understood it because I would have pulled like a fuck this shit I'm out, but I probably would have like said fuck this shit I'm out to that person, but not the whole entire company. So
yeah, you had to think about your fans and what you're doing, but it took Mercedes Moné 2 years to come back. It took Naomi 2 years to come back also, but of course these two women wrestled in other companies. Sasha did get injured, but that's another conversation for another day. Becky's your new women's world champion, not Raw Women's Champion like the title says, but I'll change that for our YouTube. But overall, how did you like your episode of Monday Night Raw?
Outside of that, I gave it a B. It would have got a B plus had not the ending, but solid promos, solid stuff. I mean, granted, some things were predictable, but when you watch wrestling for a long time, a lot of stuff can be predictable and you can still enjoy it. And that's what we got from this. A lot of segments, a lot of angles were pretty predictable, but it was still enjoyable. None of the matches really lacked. None of the matches was like a snooze fest or anything that matter. Even the Dom match, like, it was cool. I didn't really care for it, but it was still cool. It was still a little filler match what it was for. And then we got Damien Priest saying "fuck everybody, I run this shit." So it was a win. A win is a win. So yeah, I give it a
B. Jeffrey gave it a B- because of the ending.
Yep.
Real quick, I want to address this question because it was asked before you talk about the main event. Any thoughts on the Trick ceiling? I think he needs another year.
Yes.
In NXT. I think he still has a lot of things he needs to develop as far as in the ring, but I think he's solid depending on his dance partner. I think it's sad because I think Trick is also one of your most over wrestlers in WWE, period. Probably, I would say the top 5 as far as baby faces. That's how over he is. You have your Jey Uso, you have your Cody Rhodes, not in any particular order. You have your Jey Uso, you have your Cody Rhodes, you have your LA Knights. I think Trick is right up there with them.
Yeah.
Not including Randy Orton because Randy Orton's another level to be. I think if he gets honed a little bit more, and this is all depending on how NXT is viewing themselves going forward, because remember NXT, they're really trying to make a strong third brand because they're part of the draft next week, and not just to pluck people from them, but to give people to them.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on, I think Friday and Monday is going to tell you a lot about how NXT is going to go going forward. Because remember, NXT is going to be this new season of WWE coming up this fall is going to be a lot different, even with the fact that Vince is gone. Not just talking about Triple H being in control. You have Raw on Netflix, you have SmackDown on USA, and you have NXT on CW. 3 different networks with 3 different shows and 3 different brands. Right?
So like how you gonna run? It's like which brand wants the angle? Because we already know with Netflix, all hell about to go. All hell's gonna break loose. Like they can do
all hell. Them little blackout periods they have for the noise when they saying holy shit and stuff like that goes away.
Yeah, that's
when they get on Netflix.
The middle fingers blocking that off on the hard cam. That's gone.
That's all gone. You know, Netflix is really going to take advantage. CW NXT is going to be a whole new level as well because that opens a different audience. The people who don't want to pay for cable, don't want to pay for YouTube TV, a Sling or something like that. Right. They just have, because there's still a lot of people out there who just say, I'm just having regular TV and I watch everything on YouTube clips later or something like that.
Right.
That opens up a whole new audience. That's what SmackDown became the number 1 brand again, because it got on Fox. You can't get any bigger than Fox, really.
You really can't.
And then, of course, the traditional USA has your SmackDown, which is still your number 1 highest rated wrestling show on the planet.
Right.
A lot of different. WWE is a cash cow. You have your next 5-6 pay-per-views. I think 4 of them are international. There's no stopping the machine.
And that's what was so funny with the. Oh God, I always told myself I was never going to address these motherfuckers. But you goddamn trolls, they be on social media talking. Oh, once Vince dies, the whole company dies. What the WWE is going down. WWE is declining. WWE, bruh, stop it. Let it go. Let the hurt go. Who hurt you? Not named Vince. Let it go. Let that hurt go past y'all. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new era. You can
it is.
You can like WWE again. It's okay. Look, this is a safe space. This is a safe space. Because Freckle Space is a safe space. You can like it again. Nobody's going to judge you. Okay? So stop.
They're making more money than they ever have. They're selling out over and over. I don't think they announced they were sold out today. It looked like they were sold out.
If it wasn't, it sure looked like they sold out.
Real quick before we wrap up, I don't like the new set. Not a fan.
Yeah, I wish they had the old set.
It needs to be the big brawly set. Now, they announced that they were going to have smaller ones.
Yeah,
to accommodate more people, but from what I see, it looks like pretty much the same size. It's just that they don't have the screens as high.
Yeah, it's not like an awning type of showing. But I'd rather let them have a smaller, just like a little smaller entrance. More people can fill those sidelines.
It needs to always look massive to me. These are larger than life characters. Now, if you want to have more people come in, I appreciate that. I think you can find ways to do it. But right. I'm just saying the way the background looks, if it's going to look like that, you could have had the screens up.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get rid of pyro. That's all I ask. Them 3 or 4 years, I think it was, where they didn't have pyro used to piss me off.
Oh, God.
It might have been 2 years. It was from 2000.
No, it was longer than that. It was like a good stretch.
No, it was 2017 to 2019.
Yeah. It was
mid 2017 to September 2019, and they didn't have pyro, and I thought it was just the dumbest thing. And then they finally decided to bring back pyro because they were going to Fox.
Yeah,
and they said we need to make sure we're flashing. Yeah. So they brought it back, and they've had it ever since. But not everybody gets pyro, but a lot of people do. But I don't want them to not go back to Brock Lesnar's interest does not work without pyro to me. AJ Styles' interest did not look well without pyro.
It just looked weird. A lot of interests just looked weird without that. Without that, bow, bam, like. It was just
I do miss that. I do miss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it pissed me off too. Couldn't stand the bypass, and it made no sense. They were like, "Oh, we're saving money." I'm like, at that time, they still were making money. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember too many times since the Attitude Era that they weren't making money. Right. It just happens to be now they're making an abundance of it. Like just it's biggest of all time.
Once you hit that international, the money is going to be there. And that's why I tell people, like, I get, we like to joke and call it blood money, but once they did that,
Saudi are off.
They're not losing nothing. Once they hit that scene, I was like, oh, they never gonna Imagine Batista without
They make
that.
more money in Saudi Arabia than they do when they do WrestleMania. That says a lot.
Exactly.
Because they make a lot of money in WrestleMania. People bid, cities bid clearly for WrestleMania.
Yes.
But right now, over the last couple of years, they bid for Royal Rumble. They bid for SummerSlam also. So, before it was just WrestleMania. Now they do that also.
Now they're bidding for everything else.
Yeah, they make money everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for us. Make sure, imagine Batista without Pyro. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, I walk alone.
He's really walking along because nobody.
They're just gonna make the noise. That's what they did with AJ Styles when he used to come out there. Like,
oh yeah, it's the went in. Yeah.
I never understood why Austin Theory and Grayson Waller don't have pyro when they do that thing. And they make the noise. Or Sheamus do what he does.
They used to when he did that.
I
don't know why they got rid of it.
Make a gun sound. Thanks, guys. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Monday Night Raw show. Make sure that you join us every single Monday at 6 o'clock p.m. for the Mike Knox show, which showed up earlier today. Great job done by Mike Knox earlier. Right here, join myself, Evil Dose, and FreckledSensei from Monday Night Raw each and every single Monday. Tuesdays, NXT. We have the Wrestling Doll with Bad Guy Jack out on vacation. FreckledSensei will fill in tomorrow. Next week will be Vincent LaSpada, AEW Dynamite review show with Vincent LaSpada, Dan the Man, and Katie. Actually, these two will not be on this Wednesday because they'll actually be at AEW Dynamite. So we got to get two other people to do AEW Dynamite this week. Friday night SmackDown every single Saturday with Zia Silent as well as Vic Martinez. Forgive me, Vic Rodriguez. Draft episode.
All them look like. You said all y'all.
I didn't say that. That's what he said. Victor Rodriguez. The AEW draft special, mock draft special will be tomorrow with Vincent LaSpada representing Collision and Dan the Man representing Dynamite. I'll be hosting that. And on Thursday, we have the WWE mock draft special with myself representing Monday Night Raw, Wrestling Doll representing NXT, and Dice representing SmackDown with Mike Knox hosting. Next Thursday, predictions. And then after that, we have top fives coming up. And I want to shout out the top fives real quick. Because we have some interesting ones coming up in the next few weeks where we talk about funniest in-ring segments, worst title reigns. General Hall, I'm looking at you. AEW wrestlers, original match concepts, unnecessary members in a faction. A lot of top five coming up for you with a wide variety of hosts coming from UPR. So that is it for us here at Monday Night Raw. FreckledSensei, do you have anything that you want to say to the Hammond-Eggers out there?
Basically, yes. Please check out tomorrow. It's gonna be big. We're gonna do we doing X-Men. Yes. So I love it. I've been in a lot of emotional wreck for the past 8 damn episodes. I need therapy. So check that out. Check out everything that we're about to have. It's gonna be lit. This week is gonna be lit. Y'all get to see me rant some more because I do gotta. I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. Because I got something for you woke motherfucker. That's gonna be all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you share and subscribe this to all your wrestling channels and groups, especially on YouTube. Definitely make that share. And also follow us and watch us on our sister channel, Unpopular Review Entertainment. As he said, we're doing the X-Men review show tomorrow. Also with a lot of other movies coming up and television shows. So for FreckledSensei, I'm the Executive Consultant. We will see you right here next time on Unpopular Review. Good night, everybody.